very organised, very unorthodox at times in their defending, and they make it very difficult for teams to score against them. But we've seen in previous weeks, haven't we, just like Norwich did, if you can get an early goal against them, they can be there for the taking.
Yeah, I thought exactly the same, to be honest with you. One, it's a Neil Warnock side. Two, no disrespect to Huddersfield, but they're not going to tear this division up. You know, you're not expecting them to be anywhere near the playoffs, and to be honest, survival is probably key to those. Couple of things really. Carl Bartley coming back in. I mean, I've been screaming for it for a few weeks. I did for last season as well. What he gives you is, look, Huddersfield are going to come, they get the classic park the bus. They're going to make it very difficult, make the game scrappy, make it how they want it to be. We've got to try and combat that. An early goal kills all their plans. But if we haven't got one, the longer the game goes on, it might well come down to a set piece. It might, and that's where Bartley for me is key. You know, we've got Darnell Furlong, we've scored a couple of times already this season from his long throw-ins. You know, people like Bartley, they're key in that sort of thing. I mean, if you look at the bench, I mean, you've got Sarmiento and Diagana. They can both, you know, they can unpick anyone's pocket, couldn't they, with the sort of trickery and the skill they've got. So, you know, the longer it goes on, you've got those two on the bench. You've got Bartley on the field for a set piece. But I'm not expecting a classic here this afternoon by any stretch of the imagination. This is one of the ones where, when you're talking about promotion, when you're talking about getting in the playoffs, or when you're talking about having a great season or a good season, these are the games you have to win by hook or by crook. You know, you've got to go out there and you've got to get the win. It ain't going to be pretty, I don't think. But we've got to stick to our guns and stick to our plans and do what we do best. And we're formidable here. We're absolutely formidable with the Hawthorns. And you know, well, we've scored 7 goals now in the last 2 games. All right, we've conceded a few, but you know, I remember Kevin Keegan was taking Newcastle pretty close a few years ago. You know, they were winning like 7-6 and things like that. You know what? It makes for entertaining football, and if that's what we're going to put up with all season, I'd rather that than sort of 2-1s or 1-0s. But yeah, we've just got to go and get the result today and put this one to bed. It's not going to be pretty, I don't think.
He's resisted the urge again, Andy, hasn't he, to play Jeremy Sarmiento from the off. Made an impact, didn't he, when he came on against Middlesbrough last weekend, scored that cracking goal that sealed the 3 points. But it's difficult for Carlos because Albion have done so well, haven't they? I mean, he's made 2 changes today, but they're at the back, aren't they?
Yep.
It's not in attacking areas. Matt Phillips has been playing well. Jed Wallace played well last weekend, probably his best performance of the season so far.
Yes.
Brandon Thomas Asante has been scoring goals. John Swift has scored in both games here at the Hawthorns, and Okayu Kujlu and Jason Malumbi picked themselves. So to get Jeremy Sarmiento in this team is proving difficult at the moment.
It's very difficult, but what a lovely difficult thing to have in your arsenal. You've got a player who we've brought in for the season who's a huge talent. I mean, you just see the impact he has when he comes on. He's very tricky, great balance, great feet. You know, got to step over and he's exciting. The crowd want him to play, don't they? I want him to play. We all want him to play. But at the moment, the team's doing well, and like you said, you shouldn't tinker too much when it's going well. He'll get his chance, and then it's up to him then to deliver.
Well, the start of September is here. The transfer window is no more. Albion have done their business, and Carlos Corberán has a set group to work with now for the next 3 months at least. Albion today protecting what is a wonderful home record, 100% record here so far this season. 2 wins from 2 games, 7 goals scored as well, up until earlier when Sunderland put 5 past Southampton. Albion were the division's top scorers at home. Under Carlos Corberán, they have taken an incredible 39 points from 51 on offer since his arrival in October 2022. But the Spaniard did say, the better your record becomes, Andy, the more the teams want to shoot you down, and Huddersfield will be trying to do just that this afternoon. They have got a couple of issues to sort. They haven't yet won a game this season in any competition. They are 23rd in the table, had a wonderful end to the season last year. Neil Warnock came in and worked absolute miracles, not for the first time in his career, steering them from a side that looked doomed for League One into a team that eventually finished, I think it was 9 points above the drop zone, but they haven't been able to pick up from where they left off last season. And here today at the Hawthorns, they are on the hunt for their first victory of the new term. Here are the 2 teams again shortly before kick-off. Albion, 2 changes, both at the back. Bartley and Townsend come in. Ajayi is ill and misses out altogether. Peters is on the bench. Albion have changed formation this afternoon, we think. We think it will be a 4-2-3-1 with Palmer in goal, a back four of Furlong, Bartley, Kipre and Townsend. In midfield, Yukuşlu and Malumbi sitting with Swift ahead of them, Wallace on the right, Phillips on the left and Thomas Asante through the middle leading the line. On the bench, Griffiths, Peters, Taylor, Fellows, Chalabar, Moat, Sarmiento, Maja, and great to see Diangana back as well for the first time in what seems like a long time. Huddersfield, 4 changes from their 4-0 humbling by Norwich last weekend. Headley, Kasumu, Wiles and Bergzorg all start. It's a debut for Wiles in midfield and Bergzorg a full debut for him after 2 substitute appearances. He starts up front in what we believe to be a 5-3-2 formation for Neil Warnock's Terriers this afternoon. Lee Nichols is the goalkeeper. A back 5 of David Kasumu on the right, Yaheem Headley on the left, Michael Hellick, Matty Pearson and Josh Ruffles as a central back 3. Jack Rodoni, Jonathan Hogg the captain and Ben Wiles in midfield. Danny Ward and Delano Bergzorg are the strikers. On their bench, Maxwell, Diarra, Harrott, Nakayama, Hoodlin, Jones, Jackson, Paroma and Edmonds Green. Well, a liquidator at the Hawthorns, Andy. Second game in a row. Last time, Albion made a great start against Borough.
Yeah, it just makes me smile every single time I hear that song. Look how it lifts the ground. It's got a real atmosphere in it straight away. And don't forget, I'd like to make a personal welcome back to Neil Warnock. I know he's not with Sheffield United, he's with Huddersfield this time. But the crowd won't forget that, Jess. They'll give him some as soon as he's out on the dugout doing his usual stuff. I'm sure he'll get a little bit of stick from our fans. But, saying that, Neil will want to come here and beat us. I know it's with a different club, but these things stick in you in football. You've got that little imaginary black book, if you like, with the names on of people you want to get back. And don't make no bones of it, he will want to win this today.
Well, it's his Terriers team getting this game started, shooting from right to left as we look at it, attacking the Brummie Road end in this first 45 here at what is a very sunny Hawthorns, early September. Summer turning into autumn, but no sign of any autumnal breeze at the moment. It's a wonderful day in the West Midlands. Albion looking to extend this wonderful home record that they've got. Cedric Kipre trying to run the ball out from the edge of his own penalty area here as an early attack from Huddersfield is thwarted by the Ivorian. He tries to find Jed Wallace and it's cleared away by Josh Ruffles. Darnell Furlong thought about taking a quick throw there.
Jed on his back to him, didn't he, because it was on.
Here is Yukuşlu. Ball crashed into him by Furlong, clipped down the line by Jed Wallace. And a comfortable collection here for the number 5, Michael Hellick. Back to the goalkeeper, Lee Nichols. He has been one of the division's best performing goalkeepers, Andy, in recent years.
Yeah.
One of several in this Huddersfield Town team that has worked with Carlos Corberán before. There is Cedric Kipre. Little touch to Townsend on the left-hand side of the penalty area. He clears it up towards Thomas Asante. Header is won in the middle by Jonathan Hogg, but the referee has decided that that's a free kick against Brandon Thomas Asante.
Well, we'll take it. I didn't see a lot in it. Both players got their eye on the ball.
Asante, sorry.
Yeah, like I said, both players got their eye on the ball, Jez. I mean, if he's going to pick up everything, I'm expecting it to be quite a physical game. Huddersfield will be very, very direct as they usually are.
It's Townsend into Thomas Asante. Good ball into John Swift, and then Swift back out to the left-hand side. Albion looking for a bright start here. Townsend's ball into the penalty area is too close to the goalkeeper, Lee Nichols, and a comfortable collection for the Huddersfield number 1.
Lovely little bit of link-up play with Asante and John Swift, and he nonchalantly just flicks it with the outside of his boot, doesn't he, out towards Townsend on the left-hand side. And could he have had another touch? Probably. A little bit eager to get the cross in, I think.
There is Nichols. Big kick forward. Up towards Bergzorg, headed away by Connor Townsend, now picked up by Matt Phillips. And cleared forward by Townsend to Thomas Asante over the halfway line. Ball is picked up in the middle by Wiles, but it's a loose touch from the Huddersfield Town debutant. And now Matt Phillips into John Swift, drifting in from the left-hand side and using Jason Malumbi inside the middle of the park. Now Furlong, 1v1 here against Jaheim Headley. Back in field to Swift. Albion midway inside the Huddersfield half here. Bartley, first real touch for him in possession. Needs an option. Goes into the feet of Furlong. It's a lovely touch around the corner. Allows Malumbi to drive forward on the right-hand side for Albion. 2 inside the box. Malumbi's crossing towards Thomas Asante. Is headed away by Helic and comes straight back to the Irishman. Right-hand side here for Albion. Yukuzlu. Albion attacking the Smethwick end in this first half as Townsend picks up possession of the ball and uses Matt Phillips on the left-hand side. Cuts in onto his right. Phillips trying to have a run here at David Kasumu. Uses Malumbi. Edge of the penalty area. Malumbi shoots straight into Jonathan Hogg's shins, and Danny Ward tries to get away from Bartley, but it's good strong defending from the Albion number 5, and Furlong takes a throw down the line quickly to Jed Wallace.
Great
little
play.
Back heel into the penalty area. Here's John Swift, turns away from Jaheim Headley. Here is Swift back to Furlong into the penalty area. Thomas Asante, Yukuzlu, they've worked it left. It's Townsend to try and curl one, and it's over the top of the crossbar and out behind for a goal kick to Huddersfield Town.
Well, it's excellent play. We worked the quick throw in. I've always said that we look good when we just pick things up and get things moving again. Lovely little bit of link-up play down the right-hand side, and I think John Swift, if he takes a little bit of care, he plays it onto Darnell Furlong's left-hand side. He plays it on the right-hand side. He's got a clean strike at goal, but we work it well, and it comes out to Townsend, who he tries to give him the eyes, I think, and go for the top bins, but doesn't quite come off. But what a start. We've started really, really well. We're sucking Huddersfield out into areas that they don't want to go. And we've some little 1-2s. They've obviously worked on it in training this week, because that's the way to break them down. Little 1-2s in and around the box. Some excellent play.
It's going to be a long kick from Lee Nichols. I expect to see a fair few of those this afternoon. Up towards Danny Ward. Header is won by Akar Yukuzlu, and then hooked forward by Darnell Furlong. Straight to the middle of the pitch. Matty Pearson wins the header, and it's taken down here by Jack Rodoni at the second attempt. He's clipped from behind by Jed Wallace. Free kick to the away team, about 20 yards inside the Albion half.
He was falling down before he even got touched.
Well, Huddersfield Town potentially with an early chance to put the Albion back 4 and Alex Palmer under a bit of pressure here from this set piece. It's about 10 yards in from the left-hand touchline. Jack Rodoni wearing 8 for Huddersfield, standing over it. Plenty forward, including Helic and Pearson from the back. In it comes from Rodoni towards Pearson. It's flicked behind Alex Palmer's goal, and it's come off an Albion head last. It will be a corner to the Terriers, the first of the afternoon after 5.5 minutes.
Yeah, I think it comes off Darnell Furlong. He's got to attack the ball. It's a poor free kick, to be honest, and everyone's sort of in behind everybody, but Furlong attacks it well.
It will be Rodoni to take again, the left foot of the Terriers number 8. It's going to be an out-swinging delivery. And it comes, it's a really poor one. Barely even got off the ground, and Jed Wallace clears it forward. So that ball might just well stay in play. It's rolling along the white line and just trickles over it. Thomas Asante was giving chase there. Sometimes here at the Hawthorns, Andy, the way that the grass just stops and then it's that AstroTurf, sometimes the ball just does roll along the line.
Yeah, it does.
I've seen it happen a fair few times.
I played in a game here once. I think you were playing as well, Jez, and it happened. And the boiler man never saw it. Give it out. And then he said he wasn't looking. He's the linesman. What were you looking at, Joe? Who knows?
Albion have a throw on the left-hand side. Townsend over the head of Hogg into the middle of the park, and Matt Phillips. He's sold Furlong a little bit short there, but Jaheim Headley's
he's in.
touch wasn't great, and Albion win it back with Furlong into the feet of Brandon Thomas Asante. Now here's Jed Wallace, right-hand side, back to the Albion striker. He's driving up towards the edge of the penalty area. Goes square. Townsend, 30 yards away from goal. Quickly out to the left. Now John Swift driving into the penalty area. John Swift onto his right foot, plays it behind Townsend, keeps the ball alive. Malumbi tries to win it, can't do so. Huddersfield nick it, and away they come over the halfway line. Here they come with Bergzog, and now Rodoni. It's a good ball to Ward, left-hand side of the penalty area, 3 inside the box, waiting for the cross, and Ward's cross is blocked by Bartley, out for another corner to Huddersfield Town, but they broke so quickly there.
Yeah, they did break quick, and thankfully we got back quick as well, but just a little bit of care on the pass on the 18-yard box. We've overcommitted players because we have started so well. We've got a little bit excited and forgot about the back door, and they broke quite quickly there, Huddersfield.
Rodoni to take once more. On the left-hand side of the pitch again, front of the Halfords Lane stand and the Brummie. delivers it towards the back post, nodded away by Townsend. Kasumu will get there first, turns away from Thomas Asante, goes himself on the right, tries to hang the cross back in, does just that. It's a good ball as well, and Rodoni volleys it into the roof of the net, but there's a push inside the penalty area, and the goal for Huddersfield is disallowed. And Rodoni, furious with that decision, slaps the air as he runs back into position. It was a super finish.
It was a
from
great
Jack
finish.
Rodoni, but a clear push, according to the referee, on an Albion defender.
Yeah, it was. Darnell Furlong gets isolated 2v1 on the back stick here, and he holds him off and pushes him so he can't get the jump on it. And Rodoni, like you said, it's a great ball in, to be honest, as well, and it's some finish that. Left foot, instep.
Here's Palmer, clips it long over the head of Hogg. And Ruffles will get there. Now in towards Jaheim Headley. Backwards to Ruffles. And now the number 5 Hellick across to the number 4 Pearson. Played in the playoff final for Carlos Corberán 2 years ago when they lost out to Nottingham Forest at Wembley. Ruffles, Nichols, Pearson, Ward, Hogg. Just some of the players, Andy, that Carlos Corberán has worked with at Huddersfield Town before. Said he had a great deal of respect for them.
Yeah, you could see they're honest players, Jez, aren't they? You know, they're decent players, they're honest players. And I think as a manager, that's all you can expect, or all you want from your team. And you know, you move on to other clubs, and you've always got the option of coming buying them.
Albion have a throw over on the left-hand side. Townsend throws it infield towards Brandon Thomas Asante, keeps the ball away from Hogg, and then Yukuzlu's hit the ball against the back of Thomas Asante, and here come Huddersfield. It's a strike from range, and Palmer has to get down to it low.
Yeah,
and touch that one behind with his fingertips. It was the debutant Wiles having a go. Space opened up for him. And Huddersfield are showing
they are
a lot more intent than perhaps Albion fans would have expected them to in the opening 12 and a half minutes or so, Andy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they are quite direct, Jez, but, you know, a couple of mistakes from us, and that being one of them there. Asante slips and it hits him off of Yukuzlu. I mean, for me, Rodoni is making them tick at the moment.
It'll be a corner from the right-hand side this time. Another outswinger towards Pearson, and Ruffles. It's headed towards goal, and it's a comfortable save in the end for Alex Palmer.
Come on, can we break?
But Albion, who will have spoken heavily, Andy, about the importance of an early goal today, have been potentially a little bit fortunate not to lose one themselves here.
Well, yeah, they've had a couple of chances, haven't they? I mean, I don't think Palmer was too troubled with that save then.
There is Palmer, hits it long towards Thomas Asante, chested away by Hellick. And now here is Danny Ward. Hogg over the top. It's one for Jaheim Headley to chase in behind. Here is the 21-year-old. Gets the ball ahead of Darnell Furlong. Rolls it backwards to Josh Ruffles, wearing 3. Inside to Hogg, and then Hogg forward. It's a poor pass. It's cleared by Yukuzlu. Only as far as Bergsville though, and he's fouled. Clipped from behind.
Can't do that.
By Thomas Asante. All a little bit scrappy at the moment.
It is.
Playing perfectly into Huddersfield's hands.
I just think we're a little bit deep in midfield. Yukuzlu and Malumbi in particular are sat right back on our back four, and we're not getting close enough to any of the second balls in the middle of the park. And, you know, Huddersfield are picking them up too early. The distances are too great then to Asante up front. He's isolated. We're a little bit at the moment. We've just got to regroup, get it back together.
Well, Rodoni standing over it, about 30 yards away from goal, just left of centre. Rodoni in towards the back post and headed over the bar by Matty Pearson, who got up high above the Albion defender. Couldn't keep his header down though. Ends up in the Brummie Road end. Remains 0-0, but a good start from the away team. And
yeah, it is. Yeah, and you know, set plays and things like that. They've got 2 big centre halves there, haven't they? And Pearson and the other lad. So they are going to be dangerous. I think Kipri does well there. I think he does just enough just to put him off.
Well, Palmer.
Yeah, make a decision. If we're kicking, we're kicking. If we're not, you know. I'm surprised the referee's let this go on as long as he has with the new law. I thought he might have brandished the yellow card by now. I know it's a bit early for time wasting, but
he is going to kick it long, Alex Palmer. Up over the halfway line towards Jason Malumbi and Matt Phillips on that left-hand side. It's come off Matt Phillips and gone out for a throw to Huddersfield Town. It'll be taken by Matty Pearson. He's got Hellick behind him. Thomas Asante quickly on the case, putting Hellick under pressure. Now Nichols on the ball on the edge of his own penalty area.
We haven't seen Asante make any runs in behind yet either. That'll stretch the Huddersfield team. Everything's been into his feet at the moment. Don't get me wrong, he's had some good link-up play, but just need to stretch him.
Kuzlu does well.
Here we go, send him.
Ahead of the ball, ahead of Headley, and now lays it through towards Jed Wallace on the right-hand side. Tries to beat Ruffles, comes off the instep of Josh Ruffles and goes behind for Albion's first corner.
And that's exactly what I was talking about, Jess. You've got to stretch this Huddersfield team. You've got to force them back. The centre-backs in Huddersfield, they don't want to be running back towards their own goal. If it's in front of them or in the air, it's easy for them. They're big, strapping, old-fashioned centre-halves, what I'd call them. Slide little balls down the other side of them. They don't want to be doing that.
Well, Kyle Bartley and Cedric Kipperate, the two obvious targets, as Swift delivers in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's headed away, comes as far as Wallace, tries to volley it back over towards John Swift. Furlong gets his body in between the ball and Hogg and gets it back to Swift. Cross comes in, Thomas Asante with a looping header. Comfortable in the end for Nichols, but have to sort his feet out quickly there, the Huddersfield stopper.
They break very quickly, don't they, Huddersfield? I mean, the keeper there, he's looking for one thing. They're not looking to throw it out at the back. He just catches it and he's just volleying it straight out of his hands up the field. But this is what we're going to stop. These fouls, they're nonsense fouls. You know, there's no need to. They're clumsy tackles, you know, challenges. But straight away, the two centre-halves are going up for every little dead ball. They're going up into the penalty area, and it could potentially cause us problems. I mean, Hellick, look at the size of him. He's a big old boy.
Rodoni to take the free kick just over the halfway line. Left-footed again, looking for Pearson against Townsend. Pearson heads it backwards from the way that he was facing. That's gone out for a goal kick. And that will give me the first opportunity, Andy, to read you out the first few texts and tweets that have come in today. Got to start. Brilliant one. Rhodes. Going to Rhodes in Greece for the first one.
Okay. John
and Amanda, who recently got married. They're there. It's their first day of their honeymoon today. And John has said to Amanda, we're watching the Albion. So
I don't think that's John. Amanda said that she wants to watch the Albion. John, you're married now, John. You've got to do as you're told. Congratulations, guys.
Yeah, congratulations to the both of you. Happy honeymoon. Here's Headley getting in behind. Palmer comes out, leaves the ball, leaves Headley alone as well. And also a shout out as well to Evan McGinn, who the tweet says he's listening from base camp at Everest, Andy. I can't imagine that to be right. I think we've got a few jokers in the house this afternoon. But
well, you don't think he's got a signal up there?
Well, he's a small child, young Evan, so I'm sure he's not at base camp at Everest. There we go.
Wow.
There is Ruffles with the header away into midfield, and Jack Rodoni.
Started well, Rodoni, for Huddersfield, I've got to say. He's bossing in the middle of the park at the moment. He seems to be everywhere. Every time the ball lands, he's on it. All the set pieces, he's on it.
Nichols on the edge of his own penalty area, rolls the ball out to Hellick. And here is Ruffles again. Clips it down the line, looking for the run in behind of Wiles. It's a good run as well. It's a good first touch from the former Rotherham United man, wearing 23. Cross comes in, really dangerous one.
Tell you what,
and it's
well,
brilliantly
Townsend.
left by Connor Townsend. Any touch on that ball and it goes into the back of the net. What a delivery from Ben Wiles on this left-hand side, right-footed, in-swinging towards that back post. Great bit of defending from Connor Townsend, Andy.
I tell you what, that's fantastic defending. How he manages to sort his feet out there. Oh, it's a good move from Rotherham. It's good up-down in play. And Wiles puts in a lovely ball. Now he gets out of the way of it in the end. Great defending from Connor Townsend.
Here's Malumbi. Wallace drives into midfield.
Turn.
And now Thomas Asante takes over, rolls it through towards Jed Wallace. He's got Hellick with him. Yeah. Hellick is there ahead of Jed Wallace and does the job that Huddersfield needed him to do at the back. Sees the ball over the line.
You'd rather that the other way there, wouldn't you? You'd rather it was Jed Wallace on the ball and Thomas Asante making the run. He just passes the ball too soon for me. He's not committing anybody. He's not changing anything, and then it's a leg race, and Hellick, once he opens them legs up, he's got a big old stride.
Well, goalless here at the Hawthorns. We've played 17.5 minutes. There were a few early games in the Championship. There were a few very surprising scores as well. Sunderland 5, Southampton 0. Yeah, Southampton had made a really good start to the season.
Welcome to the Championship.
That is a long journey home when you've been beaten. It's a long journey home when you've won, Andy, at Sunderland.
Yeah.
Let alone been thrashed 5-0.
I'm sure they'll be flying. They wouldn't travel that by coach, surely.
And in what already looks like a crucial game in the Premier League, in the early kickoff, Sheffield United drew 2-2 at home to Everton. Other early kickoffs in the Championship finished Birmingham 1, Millwall 1 and Swansea 1, Bristol City 2. There has only been one goal in the 3 o'clock kickoffs in the Championship so far. That's Hull City have scored at Leicester City. So the Tigers are taming the Foxes as things stand. Townsend with this throw for West Bromwich Albion, who took 4 points off Huddersfield last season. They won 1-0 here in March. John Swift scoring a penalty in what was a game that Albion wasted numerous chances, Andy, to put the game beyond doubt. And then, if you remember, David Kasumu had a wonderful opportunity at the other end of the pitch in the second half, which might have just got Huddersfield a draw. Matt Phillips has been dispossessed now, and here come Huddersfield again. Albion losing the ball in midfield, not for the first time this afternoon, and certainly not for the first time this season. Trying to win it back now. Thomas Asante has forced them back into their own half. Here is Hogg. Out to the right-hand side. Pearson coming forward down that right wing. Goes backwards to his skipper, Hogg. And now here is Hellick inside the centre circle. I wouldn't say they've dominated, Andy, but probably ahead in terms of possession.
Yeah,
in terms of shots on goal as well.
Yeah, we started very brightly, but certainly the last sort of 10 minutes it's been mainly Huddersfield with all the good play anyway.
Here is Pearson. Back to Hellick once more on the edge of his own penalty area. Yeah, 2-2 at the John Smith Stadium last season. That was a game where Jed Wallace hit a brace for Albion and Angerin hit a brace for Huddersfield. Huddersfield went 2-0 up, but 2 Jed Wallace goals earned the Baggies a point. The last 4 games between these two teams have either ended 1-0 or 2-2. Here is Bartley, taking no chances there at the back for Albion. Passing it out for a throw, but the flag was up on the far side, and Albion will have a free kick.
Well, Ben Wiles is causing havoc down this left-hand side. He's making some very intelligent runs, and the balls that are going into him is quality. Offside there, I think, but they've definitely got...
Playing well, Andy.
Yeah, they are. They've definitely got a plan. They've surprised me a little bit, Jess, to be honest. I thought they'd be a little bit more direct. They are quite direct up to the front, but then when they get it down in play, they look half decent. Oh, I thought it would be a tricky one. The gaffer said it himself in his notes, didn't he? Thought it was going to be a tricky game. It's proving that way at the moment.
Well, Alex Palmer will take this free kick for Albion. Going to hit it long over the halfway line, looking for Brandon Thomas Asante. Only one winner there as it comes to the ball.
And that's what I don't get. I don't get why we're hitting long to Asante when he's got Hellick. It was a giant of a man up there. It's got to be passed into him.
Another tweet in, Andy. There are no jokers listening today, Jez. I'm listening whilst preparing to go over the Niagara Falls in a barrel. I think that might be a joke. Here is Rudoni trying to drive up over the halfway line, runs into John Swift.
Go on, he's in!
Here is Swift, lays it to the left-hand side of the penalty area. Matt Phillips onto his right foot, little back pass into Townsend. Cross comes in across the face of goal. And a stabbing clearance away by Michael Hellick, sticking out one of those long limbs of his to clear the danger for Huddersfield. Albion had 2 lurking at the back post waiting for a tap-in. Phillips crosses it in towards the back post once again. It's over everyone in navy blue and white, and Jaheim Headley can clear the ball forward. Furlong keeps it in play. Lovely touch that was. Into Bartley. Now here's Malumbi, 30 yards away from goal. Central position, has to go backwards to Furlong. Albion trying to keep it alive. Malumbi once more. Huddersfield making it so difficult for the Baggies to find any space in the pockets that they want to, Andy, in that number 10 area that John Swift likes to pick up possession of the ball in.
Man on.
There's Bartley, lets it run across his body. Wiles puts the pressure on, and Palmer very calmly just goes out to the left-hand side.
Well, while we're doing the jokes, Jez, I baked a cake today, this morning. No, that's not a joke, I really did. Started baking, calms me down.
Here is Townsend. Over to the left, Matt Phillips, 1v1 up against Kasumu. He's gone past him. Phillips will shoot at goal. And it's a wild effort in the end from the Albion number 10.
Oh, you don't mind that though. He's done well, Matty. He's come inside. That's what you want from him. Shoot, aim for that far stick. You never know. Deflection, rebounds. I think he's been excellent the last few weeks, but I think this is probably his third different position he's played this season.
Arguably Albion's best player so far this term, Andy.
Yeah, he's been excellent. Absolutely excellent.
There's half a shout for Cedric Kipre as well. After what was a difficult start for him, let's make no mistake about it, at Blackburn.
Yeah, last weekend he was different class, wasn't he? Really was.
Looks like he's growing into the season and growing into this position. There's the ball over the top from Swift looking for Wallace. Just evades him, runs straight through to Nichols. But Cedric Kipre might just be one of those players, Andy, that you have to give him a run of games where, OK, you might not get the best performance out of him for the first couple of weeks, but then you can see a difference in his performances, and he was brilliant last weekend against Middlesbrough.
Yeah, he was. And when he was last season, it was at Cardiff he was at. Excellent season. So he's definitely got it. Like you said, Jess, I think he probably just needs a few games. You know, fair play to the gaffer, Carlos. He sees that in him, and he's going to give him the time. But like you said, last week this week he's been excellent so far as well.
Here is Ruffles at the back for Huddersfield. And now Hellick, who've played 24 minutes. Had a very sunny Hawthorns, very warm Hawthorns as well here. Goalless between the Baggies and the Terriers. Albion had to be patient last season. John Swift penalty was enough in March. Goalless here. And nothing really yet for Nichols to do, and
no.
He did say before it wasn't going to be a classic. No, it's going to be an afternoon where Albion might have to grind out the victory.
Yeah, and they're the games that you win. Oh, look, Kipre again. It's been excellent.
Great touch from Kipre.
Absolutely
takes it down in mid-air, ball over his shoulder as well.
But his positional play and everything, he's the right side of the attacker, Jez. You know, he's the ball in the channel. He's always going to be first to it.
Had Bergzorg behind him. His Palmer. It's a loose pass from him. Don't see too many of those from
No, you
Palmer.
don't.
Won by Kasumu, and then Hogg is dispossessed by Thomas Asante, and the Huddersfield skipper fouls the Albion frontman. The Baggies will have a free kick on the halfway line. A decade he spent at Huddersfield, Jonathan Hogg. You do not see that in football very often anymore.
No, you don't.
Nearly 350 appearances in blue and white stripes for the former Aston Villa and Watford man. Okay, Yukuzlu will take the free kick. Goes short to Kyle Bartley. Well, he did start the Albion number 5 in the cup game at Stoke in August, but this is his first league start since the 2-0 win against Stoke City on the 12th of November last year, Andy, which is almost a whole 12 months. It's a long time to be out the starting 11.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Again, in the middle of the park, I don't know what we were doing then. To be perfectly honest, I'm not quite sure. I think, is it Darnell Furlong tries to play a 1-2 with the referee, I think.
It's a very stop-start game at the moment.
Yeah, it is, and that's what Huddersfield, they'll be happy with that. They'll be pleased with that. That's exactly how they want it. Another dead ball situation. The centre-halves have gone up again. You know, every free kick, wherever it is on the pitch at the moment, the two centre-backs for Huddersfield are going up. And this time they've come out on this far side. But why hasn't Bartley come out with them? You know where it's going.
There's Ruffles, delivers to the left-hand side of the penalty area. Yukuzlu heads that one away from Hellick at the back.
Yukuzlu does well there. But for me, I think Carl Bartley or Kipre, if it's on his side, it's got to come out and mark them. We had it against Swansea with Darling, was it? You know, you've got to recognise that on the pitch. Oh, it's a great little turn around the corner.
Ball in behind. It will reach John Swift via the head of Jonathan Hogg. Back heel into Jed Wallace. He drives into the penalty area. Albion need reinforcements. Wallace goes towards the byline. Cross comes in. Appeals for handball. Very quickly waved away by the referee. More so from the Smethekent.
Oh, Kipre again.
Albion players. Kipre wins the header. Townsend over the head of his man. Now Phillips chests the ball down and passes it short into Malumbi. Here is Townsend, left flank for Albion, 30 yards away from goal. Malumbi once more onto his right foot, plays it into the centre of the pitch. Phillips, Furlong, he's in a central position, plays it out to the right hand side. Wallace is 1v1 at Ruffles if he wants to try and beat his man, goes inside to Swift, and then Swift with a back heel into Yukuzlu. Wiles chases him. Yukuzlu finds Wallace. All very neat and tidy this from Albion, but not really getting anywhere. Trying to pull Huddersfield out, but they're so rigid at the back.
Got to be patient. They are, but we've got to be patient.
Asante trying to turn away from Helic, back to goal. Twisting and turning.
Good.
He's gone onto his left foot here, Thomas Asante. Squares it. Here is John Swift, 30 yards away from goal. Swift has runners ahead of him. Swift goes onto his right foot, into Phillips, edge of the penalty area. Needs reinforcements here, Matt Phillips. Has to go himself. Phillips drives into the penalty area. It's gone across the 6-yard box, and it's cleared at the back post by a Huddersfield man, with Connor Townsend lurking. Great work from Matt Phillips. Just made something out of nothing there, Andy. Huddersfield clear the danger.
Well, he never had no choice, Matty Phillips. He's coming across the 18-yard box. He wants somebody wide. He's looking for Jed Wallace out there or Darnell Furlong. And he realises he's got nobody there. He's got to go on his own. And he takes it past the defender and whips a ball in. Beautiful ball. Deserved better, really. Needed a touch.
Here is John Swift, edge of the penalty area to the right-hand side. Furlong gets his crossing in towards Thomas Asante, headed away by Pearson. Great defensive header that. The ball bounces up, hits Ward in the face.
And again.
He carries on driving forward, wanted a free kick. It doesn't come. Albion regain possession. And it's with Furlong, and now Malumbi back to Furlong, just on the halfway line. Central position now is Yukuzlu, inside the centre circle, towards Townsend. Bit better this from Albion in the last couple of minutes or so.
It is. We're recycling the ball back in better as well.
Swift up against Pearson. Pearson catches John Swift.
Yeah, he does.
Caught the ball as well. It's out for a throw to Albion on the left-hand side, level with the edge of the penalty area. Albion have got Alex Moat, Caleb Taylor and Josh Madger warming up ahead in front of us.
Yeah, I'm pleased for Caleb. Been on loan at Cheltenham last season. Had an excellent season down there. Deserves his chance.
It depends which way you look at it, Andy. 9 substitutes now in the Championship this year, increasing by 2 from 7 last year. It will give the likes of Caleb Taylor and maybe Tom Fellows, who's been involved quite heavily so far, the chance to be on the bench, but that also, on the other hand, will stop them going out on loan and experiencing men's football, something which both experienced last year.
Well, that's, the manager's decision, isn't it? Whether he feels that, they're going to play a part in this season. It's a long season in the Championship. The games come thick and fast. You do need a bigger squad nowadays. You can't expect the same players to play week in, week out.
It's Wallace, clever turn to get away from Ruffles on the right-hand side. The ball just skips away from the Albion skipper. It was bouncing, it was bobbling, never quite sat down for Jed Wallace. And out for a goal kick it goes. Still goalless here, half an hour played on WBA radio and WBA TV.
Yeah, the game's screaming out for a goal, isn't it? Really is.
Scores elsewhere in the Championship. Cardiff have taken the lead at Ipswich. It's still Leicester 0, Hull 1. Plymouth lead Blackburn by a goal to 0, and Rotherham have taken the lead against Norwich at the New York Stadium.
Wow.
In the Premier League, Brentford 1, Bournemouth 1, Burnley 1, Tottenham 1, Chelsea 0, Nottingham Forest 0, and Man City 1, Fulham 0 in the early kick-off. Sheffield United and Everton drew 2-2 in the Premier League. There is Helic, drives the ball out to the left-hand side towards Jaheim Headley. Headley goes backwards to Josh Ruffles. Headley, who was on loan at Harrogate last season. And now Hogg inside the middle of the park. Drills the ball out towards Kasumu. It's a pinpoint pass from Hogg. Inside to Ruffles from Kasumu, and now Kasumu gets it back on the Huddersfield wing, cuts inside, delivers, left-footed, great ball. Bartley heads it up into the air. Palmer tries to beat Ward to the ball. Furlong is tussling with Ward, and it comes off Furlong's back last on the line and goes behind for a corner kick to Huddersfield Town. Ward did well there to put Palmer off after Bartley initially made contact with the ball, and he's got his side a corner kick.
Yeah, they did do well. Just think if Alex Palmer's going to come, he's got to come. Got to command that area. Again, good play. Lovely switch of play with the ball. Like you said, pin perfect, 70 yards.
Here is Rudoni. Another corner to be taken by the Terriers number 8. Rodoni lofts it in towards the back post. Helic looking to attack it from deep. Goes all the way through without contact from any player to Kasumu. On the Huddersfield right, cross comes in, dangerous looking one towards Pearson, headed away, taken down here by Bergsorgu, hits it towards goal, and it's gone through Palmer and in. And the Dutchman, Delano Bergzorg, has his first Huddersfield Town goal on what is his first Huddersfield Town start. 32.5 minutes gone. Albion 0, Huddersfield Town 1.
Well, I can only think this takes a deflection somewhere, whether it be off Kipre or I don't know who, but I mean, Palmer gets done at his near post there. He'll be disappointed with that, Alex. But I think it must take a deflection. I mean, to be fair to the lad, his first touch on his chest is excellent.
Well, there's no deflection there.
There isn't. Straight in
at the near post.
Straight in. I mean, his first touch sets it. It's a great first touch. After that, well, you've got to say it's a decent finish, but Alex will be disappointed with that. No keeper likes to get done on their near post.
Well, it's only the third goal that Huddersfield have scored in the Championship season. They were the division's lowest scorers ahead of the latest round of matches. But they have taken the lead at the Hawthorns, and they've been threatening to do so.
Yeah, they had
in the first half of the game that's been played already, Andy, probably the first 15 minutes or so, but Albion had creeped back into the contest, certainly looked the more likely to score in the last 15 minutes or so, but Huddersfield have got their noses in front, and it's Delano Bergzorg on target, the man on loan from Spezia in Italy, who's done the damage in front of the Brummie Road, and Albion need to respond now.
Well, it's the worst possible start for us, isn't it? You know, if they go a goal down, because they've already come to park the bus and make it scrappy. That's only going to get worse now. Now they've got a lead to keep hold of. You know, if we score and go one up, then they've got to come out and play, haven't they? They've got to have a go. But now, well, I don't know. I mean, they're pressing still. Here
is Kipre.
Go on, keep going.
Well, he's done brilliantly, Cedric Kipre, up over the halfway line, past a couple of Huddersfield players. He was fouled, but Albion have managed to work the ball to Matt Phillips, and play continues. Here is Kipre onto his right foot. It's a square ball towards Darnell Furlong. Checks his run. Plays a square ball back from where it came towards Malumbi. And Albion are forced to go backwards, and this will be music to Huddersfield ears.
Yeah.
The moans and groans that have started to creep in here at the Hawthorns. Kipre sliding it through, but there's too much pace on that ball for Brandon Thomas-Asante. And straight through it goes for a goal kick to the Terriers.
Yeah, a little bit heavy from Kipre. Need a little bit more of a gentle touch on that one. Yeah, it's going to be tricky now. Very, very tricky. Well, we said it at the beginning, these are the games you have to win by any means. I mean, you know, the Championship isn't always pretty. There's some excellent teams in it, but there's some difficult games as well. Some difficult, you know, Huddersfield at home was always going to be, for me, a bit of a banana skin, bit of a tricky game. And it's proven that at the moment. But, you know, there's still plenty of time.
There's a big kick from Nichols. Header is won by Bartley. Heads it straight into the face of Jason Malumbi. And now Jed Wallace picks up the ball.
Got to move it.
And he tried to poke it out towards Thomas-Asante there, but played it behind him. It's gone out for a throw. And the game is going exactly how Carlos Corberán had warned his players it might go, Andy. Very stop-start. He said that in games against Swansea, Middlesbrough and Leeds, you can see a clear structure, you can see a clear shape, you can see patterns of play, you can see space that you can exploit. He said forget that when you come to play against Huddersfield Town.
100%. 100%.
He said his players would need to find the solution. Palmer's come out of his penalty area, heads the ball to Furlong. Furlong heads it up into the air, then Malumbi heads it back to Palmer, does well there, the Irishman. But he said his players would need to find the solution to the problems that Huddersfield will cause, and at the moment, you'd argue that they haven't quite got that yet.
They haven't, and Jed's going in. Look, Jed's gone inside again now. We've got no width. We really haven't. We've got a bit more width on the other side, but both players, you know, they're coming in.
What that goal does do as well is leave Albion's hunt for a clean sheet.
Yeah.
Pushing into the middle of September. They don't play for 2 weeks after this game.
Well, you do know if you can't keep a clean sheet, you've got to score at least 2 goals to win, haven't you?
Here is Jonathan Hogg. He's back now. Back of Matt Phillips. Phillips tries to take the ball down away from Hogg, and then Malumbi is fouled by Ruffles. That will be a free kick. Just over the halfway line. Albion yet to test Nichols. And a big bellow from Michael Hefele. Somewhat a Huddersfield legend, Andy. Now in the Albion camp, away to our right-hand side. It was his birthday yesterday. Brought in Krispy Kremes for the staff. Good man.
Oh, I miss them days. You used to bring in cakes on your birthday.
Here is Yukuzlu. And now Swift. Here is Townsend, 30 yards away from goal. Out to Jed Wallace. He's going to have a run here at Kasumu. Goes backwards to Swift. Albion struggling to break through at the moment. Swift over the top towards Townsend. Heads it forward. Cleared up into the air by Rudoni. Jumps with Malumbi. Headed away as far as John Swift. Now here is Jed Wallace. Plays it in towards the edge of the box. It's hit Huddersfield man and come back to John Swift. Then Swift pokes it through. All very tight. Yeah. Too tight. And Huddersfield are able to clear as Swift gives it away and Pearson clears it for a throw.
You're absolutely right. And that's exactly what Huddersfield want. Flip the ball wide. You've got to have discipline. You know, Matty, you've got to have the discipline to stay wide and get the ball, pull them out. Because at the moment, if it's just you're just banging up against a brick wall, aren't you? As you touch, Matty, not bad at all.
Impeccably.
Not bad at all.
Malumbi into Swift. His pass is blocked by Hogg, and then a good header from Furlong, who's caught by Jaheim Headley. That will be a free kick to West Bromwich Albion. Didn't know too much about that at all there, the Huddersfield youngster.
No.
Furlong down on the floor in a heap. He'll get back to his feet. Play will continue with what have we got, Andy? Just over 5 minutes to go, not including stoppage time at the end of this first half. Albion will want to try and at least force Nichols into a save, something he hasn't had to do yet in this game before the half-time whistle blows.
No, we've had some decent play in patches, but like you said, we haven't actually had any chances, have we? Not clear chances, not as yet. Again, Jed, he's coming in off the left-hand side now. You've got to stay outside.
There's Kipre to Furlong, put under pressure by Danny Ward. Back to Cedric Kipre it goes. Kipre into John Swift's feet. Instantly put under pressure by Matty Pearson, who is just literally, he's following John Swift everywhere he goes, Andy.
He was, yeah.
Now Townsend. Thomas Asante ahead of him, into the edge of the box. Jed Wallace back to goal, turns now. The Albion captain into Thomas Asante, tries to play a 1-2 with Wallace, but it runs on through and Jaheim Headley clears the ball forward. Gives it straight away though, looking for Bergzog, and then given away by Cedric Kipre. Now Jaheim Headley, he's gone past Furlong, he's gone past Kipre, he's away down the left-hand side. Great chances for Huddersfield to double their advantage. His cross is poor though, and it's cleared on the edge of the 6-yard box by Kyle Bartley. Had two lurking at the back post there, Headley, just didn't lift his head.
No.
And Albion clear the danger, 2-0.
Well, against better sides you get punished there, don't you? Better players get the heads up. It's a great run into the box, to be honest, but just got to get his head up, and he doesn't, thankfully.
2-0 would have been a really challenging result. Yellow card. Time wasting for Huddersfield. Ruffles given the caution.
Yeah. Mr. Warnock out having a word. He'll be the next one in the book. I'd send him off already, I would have. I wouldn't have allowed him in the stadium.
There is Headley. Forward towards
He can't see it in the sun.
Heads it away in the sun.
He does well, Kipre, there.
He could have left that one. Just
he could.
Call, doesn't he?
Well, yeah.
Oh, Phillips backwards to Bartley. Bartley into Furlong.
Needs help.
Furlong plays it forward, gives it straight to Jonathan Hogberg.
That's because he's got nothing on. We've got no movement in front of him. It's very, very difficult. And in fullback, it's probably the easiest position on the pitch because you can see everything. Well, you're a fullback, Jez. It's lovely, isn't it? You receive the ball, you can see the whole pitch. You've got nobody sneaking up behind you. But if there's nobody on, what are you supposed to do? You've got to have runners. And at the minute, we're all narrow.
Centre half now, Andy.
Well, it's because of your age, not because that's your choice.
That's rude. Hey, listen, I mentioned my receding hairline last week on the show. Let's not talk about age. I'd keep quiet if I were you.
Well, I was going to say, every year older you get, Jez, I'd probably get 2, actually.
Here is Townsend. It's a strong challenge from Kasumu, and Huddersfield have won the ball back.
Oh,
and a cross comes in towards Danny Ward, trying to stretch and meet it, but it's just past him. And Palmer comes out to collect, but he's what, Andy? Probably only a few inches away from connecting with that ball and poking past Palmer into the back of the net for 2-0 Huddersfield.
I mean, if he gets a touch, if he does get a touch on it, it's a goal. What a ball in that was. Fantastic cross.
Here is Bartley. 2.5 minutes to go to the break. Albion trailing the Terriers by 1-0. Thomas Asante coming deep to the halfway line to pick up the ball. Now Okay Yukuzlu
needs help.
Goes backwards to Bartley. The way you see it at the moment, Andy, is this perfect for Sarmiento to come on and carry the ball?
I think we have to. Diagana, Sarmiento, you know, that's the sort of players that this game's screaming out for. You've got to affect this Huddersfield team. You've got to break that line, because at the minute you're playing up against walls. We've got to be disciplined. We've got to hold our width. At the moment we're not. We're coming inside. It's too narrow. There we go. That's the ball that kills them. It forces a player out there.
Malumbi out to the left. Townsend.
1v1. There you go.
John Swift. Comes inside John Swift. Then goes back outside. He's got Wallace on the overlap. 1v1 against Kasumu. 3 inside the box waiting for the cross. Wallace crosses it. Hits Kasumu. And it wins a corner for West Bromwich Albion towards the end of this first half. Wallace will leave it, I think, for John Swift. Indeed he does. Well, he's going to leave it for Phillips, sorry, not Swift.
And that all comes
the Baggies to get the ball in the box.
And that all comes about, Jez, because of discipline. You know, you cannot keep going hunting the ball. These are the sort of games you know, it's not lazy. Stand still. You know, give the width and stand still.
Albion have gone short. Phillips to Swift, delivers, hanging high one towards the back post. There's nobody around it whatsoever. Comfortable for Nichols.
Yeah.
And it's certainly been Huddersfield's half, that's for sure. Delano Bergzog's goal. Well, the difference so far. First one in Huddersfield colours for the Dutchman.
Yeah, we knew it would be tricky, and it's proven that.
There is Nichols with a big long kick, headed away by Kipre, back up towards the halfway line. Phillips jumps with Hogg. Hogg wins it against the Albion number 10. And now here's Kasumu on the right wing side for Huddersfield in front of the East stand. They're attacking the Brummie Road end, remember, in this first half. Now Ruffles uses the goal scorer, Bergzorg. Back to Ruffles and all the way back to Hellick. Hellick with a big touch away from Thomas Asante, then tries to go back to the goalkeeper. It hits Thomas Asante, and that one's going to ricochet out for a goal kick, and it, well, almost turned into trouble there, Hellick.
Yeah.
But did just enough to keep it away from the Albion striker.
No disrespect to Hellick, he's a good defender, he's a big strong lad, but with the ball at his feet, he's not comfortable at all, is he? I mean, he's and that's what you want. Force the ball into him and then get Asante around him and trying to nick the ball. Only 2 minutes at a time.
2 minutes to be played.
Doesn't seem a lot, that.
There is Nichols, headed away by Bartley. He's hit Malumbi in the face again. Second time that's happened. Here is Bergzorg. Now, left-hand side, looking for a second goal here for himself and for Huddersfield. Bergzorg twisting and turning, still on the ball. Hits it right-footed, tried to beat Palmer at the near post, tried to catch him off guard. But it goes through towards goal without really testing Palmer. Ends up 5 or 6 yards wide of that near post. You can see what he was trying there, Bergzorg. Yeah. Didn't quite pull it off.
Oh, jeez. That's a tricky one. Straight ball, lofted into the middle of the park for Matty Phillips. That's where Matty's got to say, I'm not coming in there. Stay wide. You're taking John Swift's space, that number 10 pocket.
Here is Pearson. All the way back to Nichols. Nichols will hit it long. It's a straight ball. There's nobody in green around it for the Terriers. Straight through to Palmer it goes. 60 seconds left of the 2 minutes added on. Neil Warnock will be a very happy man, Andy.
Oh, he'd be delighted. Delighted with the way his team's performed.
Here's Bartley, tries a searching one, something different towards Matt Phillips. Good first touch from Phillips up against Pearson here. Can't isolate himself 1v1 because Kasumu was across very quickly. Swift heading back into his own half. Plays the ball through 3 Huddersfield Town players to Bartley, and there might be a chance for Bartley to get forward quickly. Bartley's looking for options here. He's not got many, Andy. Swift drops short to get the ball, receives it on a square pass. Swift.
Oh, target.
Thomas Asante trying to turn and shoots and forces Nichols into a save, and it's straight down his throat. But it's the first time that Lee Nichols has been called into action properly this afternoon. Thomas Asante getting a right-footed strike off.
Can he hit it first time? Or can he hit it with his left foot, Jez?
Well, there we go. Half-time here at the Hawthorns, and so far so good for Huddersfield, not the Albion, who are defending a 100% record here in the league so far this season. 2 victories from 2 games, 7 goals scored, but Huddersfield are making it very, very difficult for them, and the Terriers have their noses in front as well. Delano Bergzorg on target. The Dutchman's first goal for Huddersfield Town is the difference at the break. Half-time, Albion 0, Huddersfield Town 1. Welcome back to the Hawthorns here on WBA Radio and WBA TV. West Bromwich Albion 0, Huddersfield Town 1. Ahead of the start of the second half. Work for the Baggies to do, Andy Johnson.
Yeah, there is, yeah. And it's just having a little bit more discipline and being a little bit more patient as that may sound. I mean, we've got to keep our wits. We're so narrow, trying to, play up against a brick wall that is the Huddersfield team, and that's only going to get worse as the game goes on, Jez. We've got to stay disciplined and keep our shape and move the ball. We started very, very brightly. We've got to do that, drag this Huddersfield team around. To be honest, I'll give it another 10, 15, and I think you'll probably see a couple of changes. Sarmiento, Diagana possibly. He's got to put players on there that can affect the game.
Well, positives to draw on ahead of today's game. Albion with the top scorers at home in the Championship so far this season. That was before the latest round of matches. And Huddersfield, their 9 goals shipped was the second most in the Sky Bet Championship. They were beaten 4-0 at home last weekend, Huddersfield Town. Albion scored goals in the second half against Swansea and Middlesbrough here in previous matches. So there is plenty still to be positive for, Andy, but you're right, they do need to find that little spark that's been lacking so far in this game.
Yeah, they do, and Huddersfield at home are going to be a totally different animal, aren't they? Because the onus is on them to come out and play. They're not going to stay at home and just put everybody behind the ball, are they? But away from home, if they can go to places like here and get a point by doing that, they're going to do it all the time. And Warnock's, in fairness to him, he's decent. He knows the game. He's been in the game long enough to know how to go to a place and get a result. And at the moment, his tactics is working well for him.
As Thomas Asante picks up a little bit of space in the centre circle. Now John Swift tries to play 1-2 with Jed Wallace, runs into Ruffles, and Huddersfield win it back through Wiles, and he goes backwards to Hellick. And Ruffles is down injured here, but play will continue with Huddersfield in possession. Townsend steps in to win it for Albion, but it's gone over the line for a throw. And, now there'll be,
I don't think there's anything too wrong with him.
For Josh Ruffles.
I think we're going to see quite a lot of this in this second half. But again, you could have thrown a net over us all there, couldn't you? We got every single player within 10, 15 yards of each other.
March 2018, you've got to go back to, February in the Premier League. A 2-1 win for the Terriers that afternoon. That's their last victory here at the Hawthorns.
Can't dive in there.
Here they come looking for a second with Rudoni. Pulls it backwards into the penalty area. Oh, it's gone across the face of goal. It might come back now. It's a striker goal, and Furlong makes the block. And it's over the top of the crossbar. Well, the flag was up anyway, but Jack Rudoni will breathe a huge sigh of relief that it was, because he's blazed over the bar from the edge of the 6-yard box. But that could have so easily been a second goal. I think it was Furlong making a sliding interception, Andy, there to prevent the ball just nestling in the far bottom corner.
But this all starts with Kipre out on the wing. He comes out to Rudoni, he dives in, he flicks over his head, and then in fairness to Rudoni, I think's had an excellent game. He just does a little back heel, and it's excellent awareness into the goal scorer, actually, who lays it off, and it's a good, clever finish.
There's Phillips trying to turn past Pearson. He's fouled Matty Pearson. Free kick for Huddersfield. I'm wondering which way the referee was going to give that. That's a great ball over the top into the edge of the penalty area. Bergsorg has taken it down again on his chest. He's forced away from goal, away to the right hand side. Keeps hold of it here, the goal scorer. He's looked lively this afternoon. Tries to, well, the referee's given a free kick for Bergsorg there, and he was the one that appeared to put his leg in the direction of John Swift there, Andy. It does side a free kick. Some might say it's clever, some will say it's not a foul.
It's clever, it's a foul for me. It just puts his leg there to protect the ball, and John Swift gets sucked into it. I mean, he's very leggy as a player anyway. He's sort of Carlton Palmer-esque. It's clever play, and we fell for it. He's looked impressive as well. They have got some talented players, and they're not a team full of players that are just booming the ball and fighting. They've got some very, very talented players, including this lad on the ball that's going to take the free kick now.
Rudoni. Little back pass in towards Kasumu, and that's gone behind off Matt Phillips, out for a corner. Well, everyone was expecting the delivery there from Rudoni, but he just pulled it back to Kasumu, and his cross intercepted by the Albion number 10. It will be a chance for Huddersfield to deliver this set piece from the right hand side. It will be Wiles to take, the debutant wearing 23. Plenty forward for Huddersfield. Every single player back for the Baggies. As Wiles delivers in towards that near post, headed away by Connor Townsend. Kasumu gives it straight back to Wiles. Another delivery, decent looking one. Palmer parries it away, goes over the head of Ruffles, who puts it back in. It's bouncing around. Albion trying to clear the ball here. It might fall for a Huddersfield Town man. Albion trying to poke it away desperately, and they've done that. I think it was Cedric Kipre, the man in the right place at the right time, but that, honestly, Andy, that could have gone absolutely anywhere.
It could have gone in off one of our own players. I'm just waiting for the replay. I'm not sure what Palmer's doing here. He comes, I thought he was going to catch it, and then he kind of parries it away. Can he hold on to that? I don't know. It's not really showing me on the replay.
It'll be Wiles once more. Referee telling him to hold his delivery. There's a bit of pushing and shoving going on. Albion yet again with every single player back inside the box to defend this set piece. Huddersfield with everyone barring the taker Wiles. Kasumu, who's on the edge of the box, and Jaheim Headley, who is probably 35 yards away from Alex Palmer's goal. The only Huddersfield players not inside the penalty area.
Again, Helix pushing. I mean, I can't understand why Helix being marked by Malumbi and Matty Phillips.
And it comes from Wiles towards the edge of the 6-yard box, headed away by Kyle Bartley. Good defensive header from the Albion number 5. Headley puts the ball back in towards Pearson, nodded away, and then Headley gets the ball first. Hogg can turn. Albion might have won it there, but they didn't. Hogg, and it's a strike at goal from Wiles into Connor Townsend. The header is won by Kasumu, but Albion win it back, and now it's 2v1. Brandon Thomas Asante against Jaheim Headley. He goes himself, he plays over towards John Swift. Great chance for 1-1. Swift!
Yes! Get in there!
The Baggies are back on level terms. Well, we said that it might take something out of the ordinary to get Albion a goal this afternoon and get up and running, and it's come in the way of a lightning counter-attack. Brandon Thomas Asante, unselfish, squared it across to John Swift. He was in acres of room, bearing down on goal, and blasted past Nichols into the far corner. It's 1-1 at the Hawthorn.
It's clever play from Asante. If you look at his run, he picks the ball up, and instead of going towards goal to suck the defender over, he takes it wide, he drags the defender out further, and he has a look, and he can see Swift in acres of space. It's a beautiful pass. He don't break his stride, John Swift, but in fairness, he's got a lot of time to think about the finish, but he executes it perfectly. What a goal. 1-1, game on.
Well, he's got the Midas touch here at the Hawthorns, John Swift. That's 3 goals in 3 games here.
Come on, let's go again. Let's go again.
7-1 to start the season. Malumbi tries to release Thomas Asante down the right-hand side. But John Swift coming up with the goods yet again for West Bromwich Albion. Andy, he moves on to 3 goals for the season, level with Brandon Thomas Asante, the man who gets the assist.
Yeah, he's on fire, John Swift. There's a little lady listening to us in the lounge up there, and she was crying at half-time because we were losing, so I hope that's cheered her up a little bit up in the sensory lounge that we have here at the club.
There is Pearson, hits it long, headed away by Bartley. Now Wallace. It's not entirely a different game, Andy, because you wouldn't expect Huddersfield to change given that goal from John Swift, but it does ease the pressure slightly, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Here's Malumbi. Quick fire second would be lovely. Townsend plays it into the edge of the penalty area. Phillips looking to turn, and he almost got past Hellick as well, who stuck out a toe and managed to poke that one forward. It's a ball over the top, and Ward might beat Bartley to the ball. Out comes Palmer. He gets there first. It's bouncing around. Palmer heads it away.
Does well.
Out for a throw it goes, and now he's going to sprint back into his goal. Not for the first time he's done that this afternoon, Palmer.
No, goalkeepers do like to come out nowadays. That time it's the right decision, I feel. Don't foul there.
Well, Yukujlu trips Wiles. That's going to be a free kick to Huddersfield, 30 yards away from goal. Dead central position. Decent chance for a striker at goal here, Andy.
Yeah, there is. There's only one man. Rodoni. He'll fancy this. He probably practices these probably about from this distance every day in training. We just can't keep giving away silly mistakes, silly free kicks like that.
Everybody back again for Albion to defend. Rodoni Has a very, very, very tasty left foot.
Yeah, he does.
He stands over this one, 30 yards away from goal. Just a little bit left of centre, in front of the Smethwick end. It is Rodoni to strike at goal. It takes a deflection off the wall and ricochets behind for another Huddersfield Town corner.
The wall does its job. Well, it's a great response, you've got to say. I mean, within what, 7-8 minutes of the second half starting, we've equalised with a great goal. Really, really good break.
And it's going to be Rodoni again to take the set piece. This one a corner. On the left-hand side, it's going to be another outswinger. They've all been outswingers for Huddersfield in this game so far. Here is Rodoni, hangs it high towards the back post. Palmer comes and it's gone through his gloves, but thankfully Matt Phillips is there to clear. And hits it long, up towards Thomas Asante, headed away, and then Yukuzlu chests the ball into Wallace.
Go on
now Swift over the halfway line. Huddersfield have got bodies trying to get back in position. Swift tries to find Brandon Thomas Asante, but it was too close to Lee Nichols, and the Huddersfield goalkeeper collects it.
Yeah, John Swift trying to repay the favour with an assist for Asante this time. Good idea, right idea. He did have Townsend galloping up, which was probably the safer option, but goes for the Hollywood ball.
Tweet in from Baggies 21. That's just what we needed to get back into this game. Let's push on now and get the 3 points. And Mark Carter says, get in Swifty. I nearly fell off my unicycle here in Bude.
Oh, in Bude. Wish I was in Bude. Be down the next weekend.
There is Pearson. Hits it long. Headed away by Cedric Kipré. Now Wiles tries to drag it back to Hogg and finds him at the second time of asking.
You've got to get tighter in the middle of the park.
Ruffles over the halfway line. Ollie is listening with Henry in Sweden, in Stockholm. Luke Daniels says, Jez, great to hear AJ on fire again. Mum's birthday cards last week from Moonpig and baking cakes this week.
I know, I don't know what I'm going to come out with next week. We've got a long way to go. Oh no, we're not on air next week, are we? It's international. That's why I'm away.
We've got Evan listening as well from San Diego in the States.
Oh, lovely.
Here is Jaheim Headley. I should say that the earlier tweet from Mark Carter said that he was listening from sunny Bude whilst unicycling around the garden. I think Evan at the Everest Base Camp has started something today, and a bit mischievous, that.
Yeah.
Here's Jaheim Headley. And now a ball over to the left-hand side looking for Ruffles, which is intercepted by Jed Wallace.
Wow,
he's done well, and then he plays it into the middle of the park towards John Swift. The ball runs away from him. No, it doesn't. Comes back to him. Kasumu thought about going towards it. He left it.
Brilliant.
And Swift has gone past Kasumu. Now Phillips, left-hand side, 1v1 against Pearson. 2 waiting for the cross inside the box. And Phillips, that's a great delivery, but it's just a little bit too far ahead of Brandon Thomas Asante, who is arriving late at the back post, and it runs on through for a goal kick to Huddersfield. But much better from Albion at the start of this second half. 57 and a half gone. It's 1-1 on WBA radio and TV.
We're positive. We look like we've got a lot more energy. You know, certainly bursting with these breaks that we're doing. John Swift does brilliantly there, and that cross from Matt Phillips, that's delightful. Absolutely delightful.
No sign of any substitutes yet in this game. One to mention for Huddersfield, who
I hope he don't come on.
He's just come out of the away dugout. Not dugout. Albion defenders might be doing some ducking out of headers if he comes on. Andy, Kyle Hoodlin. He's about 6'10", 6'11".
Easily.
He's got an incredible story as well, because he recently was playing for Sutton United and Boldmere.
Really?
Which is 2 teams in around Sutton Coldfield area. Then made the move to Solihull Moors, and now he ends up here at Huddersfield Town, and he's a substitute this afternoon, but he's a local lad who's played local football in the area. Might just come on at the Hawthorns.
He looks more like a basketball player, doesn't he? I mean, he is that big. Really is that big.
Here is Townsend.
Go inside. What a ball.
Inside to Phillips. He's in behind. Matt Phillips tries to pull it back, and the offside flag was up anyway as Huddersfield get a toe in and are able to clear that danger. They've won a free kick on the edge of the penalty area, but certainly much more vibrancy about West Bromwich Albion now.
Yeah, excellent play. Matt starts wide, he makes a run inside, and it's a lovely little ball from Connor Townsend. Oh, well,
there's the ball over the top towards the goal scorer Bergzorg, but it's headed away by Bartley and Kipré. And now Yukuzlu. Well, he's asking too much there.
Yeah, it's not been at it today, Yukuzlu, for me.
That's my favourite tweet of the afternoon. Richard Loftus has tweeted in saying, listening from Bilston, I wish I was lying about that or joking about it, but unfortunately that's the truth. There ain't nothing wrong with Bilston.
No.
Let me tell you. There is Hellick into Hogg. He's got Pearson over to the right-hand side. Hogg plays it into the middle.
Come on, Lynn.
Well, he's sold a short one to Rodoni. Albion win it back. Swift. And now Wallace has gone past his man. Yukuzlu ahead of him. Wallace tries to go through the legs of Hogg, who virtually sits on the ball to win it back. And now Huddersfield can come forward up towards the halfway line.
We look good breaking now, don't we? We're getting bodies forward. We've got good movement.
Here is Jaheim Headley. He's got Bergzorg in close proximity. 3 Albion players also. Holds onto the ball here, Jaheim Headley. Rolls it backwards as Jeremy Sarmiento is sent out to get warm.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time, I feel.
He was the star of the show last Saturday. And this script might just have the perfect ending for the Ecuadorian as well. 1-1. The game is perfectly poised.
It will just lift everybody
like him.
Yeah, it will just lift everybody. The team. It will lift. He's a great outlet. You know, he just give him the ball and just to get on with it. You know, he really is. It lifts the crowd because they know what they're getting. They're getting the excitement. They get a player that...
There's Hellick. He's giving it away, and intercepting that one was Cedric Kipre. Plays it through. Wallace. Albion have found the number 10 pocket again. They've done it 4 or 5 times so far in the second half. Didn't find it once, really, in that first 45. Now Phillips on the left-hand side receives the ball off John Swift. It slows down a little bit.
Got to make runs.
With plenty of players back in position. Swift, lovely ball in behind.
Stand it up.
Towards Malumbi. Malumbi stands it up. Wallace, who meets it with a header, but couldn't direct the header downwards. And over the top of Nichols' crossbar it goes.
Excellent play. Great movement. Little triangles round the corner of the box. And you can hear me shout, stand it up. And I don't think he did hear me, but he does exactly that. And I mean, in fairness, Jed Wallace, he probably could have been leaving it for Darnell Furlong. He's just trying to go back on it. Excellent play. Oh, we've got a game on our hands now.
And there is Nichols with a big kick forward. Still no immediate sign of Jeremy Sarmiento. Pearson nods it forward over the halfway line, intercepted by Kipre again. Tries to find Thomas Asante, goes through him and Wallace and straight to Hellick. Now here is Ruffles over the halfway line, marauding forward down the Huddersfield left. Gets a great ball in towards the back post.
Well again,
and Danny Ward meets it, but can't get clean connection on the ball. I think Townsend put him off.
I think he does. Does he get a little touch, I think?
It was Wiles trying to attack it around the penalty spot mark, Andy, and then Ward a little bit further towards the back post. It comes off Ward and behind, but some great deliveries in from wide areas for Huddersfield so far in this game.
Yeah, they have. In the meantime, we've got, is it Carl Bartley that's down? I didn't really see, he's holding his nose, I think. Maybe there's some blood, bit of a nosebleed.
Well, this stoppage in play is allowing Neil Warnock and Carlos Corberán to get certain players across. It's a constantly evolving game.
Well, it changes, doesn't it?
Football match, isn't it?
Yeah, it does. Especially when you're playing against one of Neil Warnock's sides or Huddersfield this afternoon, because they've come with such a game plan. It changes by goals going in. I mean, all games change, but with goals going in, that might sound daft, but it really does with Neil Warnock's side.
Well, Alex Moat has been warming up for some time now, but it does look as though Eric Peters and Jeremy Sarmiento have took off their tracksuit tops and are in match kit now. That would suggest that we are likely to see potentially a double change here, Andy. One of them might be enforced. Bartley might have to come off.
No, I don't know. I don't know if Bartley's... I think Bartley's going to be okay.
Well, Peters is getting ready.
Yeah. Kipre's he's done all right, Kipre. Can't think what he's going to do. Townsend, maybe go to a back three.
Well, they do have the option of going Bartley off and playing with a back three of Townsend, Peters and Kipre. and then Matty Phillips as almost like a left wing back, and Furlong on the opposite flank. Andy, if they need to make that change, of course, it will be interesting to see what they do. Bartley, will he be coming off? He's moving okay.
Yeah, I think he took one in the face. I think Carl Bartley did. Sarmiento, you can only think, well, who's he going to come off for?
Well, Peters is ready.
Matty Phillips maybe, or Jed. Well, we'll know now, because here comes the board.
Well, Kyle Bartley,
after all that, he kind of thinks, well, he's come round to get ready, and he's coming off anyway. He's got a cotton wool bud stuck up his nose, so he must have caught one in the face.
Jed Wallace coming off for Jeremy Sarmiento, so a double change. Bartley took a whack to the face, and that's obviously ended his afternoon. He wanted to continue. Andy,
yeah, he did. You can see his disappointment, can you? And rightly so. You wouldn't want players coming off and not being disappointed. Jed Wallace as well, rightly so, disappointed.
On comes the South American star, Jeremy Sarmiento. Lit up the Hawthorns last Saturday afternoon. And he's looking to be the catalyst for an Albion comeback here. One half of it is complete with that John Swift goal. Firing a winner. Albion have got 25 minutes or so to try and find it.
What you'll get with Sarmiento is he'll cheat, and I don't mean he's a cheater. I mean he'll cheat. He won't track players totally that far back. He'll just hang back and hang back. So when we do break, he's always in that little pocket of space ahead of his defender.
Here is Brandon Thomas Asante into Swift. The ball just ran away from him there, and Rodoni slides it in behind towards Bergzorg, and very quickly the linesman on this near side lifts his flag. Mark Stevens. That will be a free kick to West Bromwich Albion. Scores elsewhere in the Sky Bet Championship. The early kick-offs, it finished Birmingham 1, Millwall 1, Sunderland 5, Southampton 0, Swansea 1, Bristol City 2. The 3 o'clock games, Coventry 2, Watford 2, Ipswich 1, Cardiff 2, Leeds 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Leicester 0, Hull 1, Middlesbrough 0, QPR 1, Plymouth 1, Blackburn 0, Rotherham 2, Norwich 1, Stoke 0, Preston 2. Here at the Hawthorns it's 1-1. In the Premier League, the early game finished Sheffield United 2, Everton 2, Brentford and Bournemouth is 1-1. It's Burnley 1, Tottenham 4, Chelsea 0, Nottingham Forest 1, and Man City 3, Fulham 1. The late game in the Premier League is a very, very tasty looking one. Brighton taking on Newcastle at 5:30.
Oh, excellent game, yeah.
Here is Peters. Malumbi turns away from Rodoni. Swift. Now Thomas Asante. Albion keeping the ball safe. Here's Sarmiento.
Come on, him.
The crowd instantly gets to its feet as Jeremy Sarmiento picks up possession of the ball 30 yards away from goal. Sarmiento to the edge of the box. Malumbi out to the right now. Matt Phillips. Sarmiento comes short. Phillips will go himself, trying to run past Jaheim Headley. Uses Malumbi, and now Furlong takes over. Here's Phillips, edge of the box, out to Sarmiento it goes. Anticipation builds again with the South American in possession of the ball. Wants to try and take on Josh Ruffles, drives inside. Sarmiento does well, a few step overs, then goes square. Here is Yukuzlu, all very tight this for Albion. Huddersfield expectantly making it difficult. Townsend on the left-hand side goes 10 yards further back to Peters. Albion with possession of the ball midway inside the Huddersfield half, around 5 yards away from the left-hand touchline in front of the Brummie Road end. Townsend uses Peters once more, and now Yukuzlu on it for Carlos Corbrand's men. Yukuzlu to Peters. Huddersfield holding their shape so well. Albion trying to shift them and move them and find those gaps that will inevitably appear.
But look at that.
They continue to do it, Andy. Here's Furlong on the right-hand side.
Matt Phillips disciplined, hugging that line still. And that's how you'll stretch them, both width.
Here is Phillips, and Malumbi back to Kibre.
You've got to be patient. You've got to be patient.
Eric Peters to Connor Townsend, backwards to Swift. No need to panic yet for West Bromwich Albion.
Well, you've got to keep moving the ball. You've got to keep passing it, because that moves their players around, and a hole will appear. Just got to be ready to... There it is. There's one.
Tries to slide it in behind. It's come off the head of Michael Hellick, and Phillips happy to let that one go out for a throw. It's in line with the 6-yard box on the right-hand side, where the Brummie meets the East Stand. And I think we're going to see a Darnell Furlong launcher under it.
I think so. I don't think we've had one yet, have we?
Not so far in this game. We had one last week against Middlesbrough.
Oh, we certainly did.
Albion scored from it. Kipre, the beneficiary that week. He's inside the box again, and it's aimed towards him, headed away by Jaheim Headley. Headed away by the Huddersfield number 15. Swift heads it to Furlong, who takes it down his chest as well. Darnell Furlong into Yukuzlu. Yukuzlu needs some help.
Yeah, you don't want to be isolated out there.
Forced backwards by Danny Ward. And it's back with Malumbi inside the Albion half. A square ball to Peters, who has acres of room to move into. Drives into it, does the Dutchman. Out to the left-hand side it goes. Here's Sarmiento. Been everywhere so far since he's come on. On the left, on the right, through the middle. I'm sure Carlos will have given him a floating role, Andy.
Yeah.
Similar to the one that you had.
I used to float, yeah, all over the place.
Here is Sarmiento.
He's been different today. He's passing the ball a little bit easier as well. He's not trying to take on everybody. Whether or not Carlos said a word.
Yukuzlu inside. Furlong playing as a central midfielder. Here is the Albion number 2. Out to Townsend, left-hand side. Plays it infield to Sarmiento. Trying to get a clever turn away from Wiles. Sarmiento uses Swift, who's square, 30 yards from goal.
Go on, tell me.
Albion keeping the ball here, trying to hurt Huddersfield. On the edge of the box, Sarmiento. Again, a few twists and flicks and step-overs. Down the line it goes to Matt Phillips. Back to goal. Has to come back out from where he came, Phillips. Up against Hogg. Gets to the byline, cross comes in, straight to the gloves of Lee Nichols. But Albion showing they can be patient. They're trying to work Huddersfield.
Yep.
They will obviously tire, Andy, as the game gets closer to the 90-minute mark. We've had 70 and a half now.
Yeah, you've got to be patient. Like I said, you've got to keep putting them passes in and getting Sarmiento on the ball. You know, you've just got to keep giving him the ball.
Here is Yukuzlu winning the header against Danny Ward. Sarmiento jumps with Hogg. The ball bounces in front of Sarmiento. He wins
brilliant.
it and flicks it over the head of Jack Rodoni. Here is Sarmiento.
Foul, referee! Come on, referee!
No.
He decides not to get up and kick him this week. I love that when he did that last week. I've been laughing about it all week. I love that fieriness about him as a player. You know, it just it was great. I know you're not allowed to do it, and I shouldn't say that, but it was funny. If there are any kids listening, it's not what you do.
Here is Pearson over the top towards Bergzorg. Peters lets it bounce. He's got Bergzorg on his back.
Got to deal with it.
Plays it into Malumbi, who's barged off the ball by Rodoni, and then Bergzorg is barged off the ball by Peters, and Albion come away with it on the left-hand side. Peters fires
get hold of that.
I'm not sure he wanted Swift to do with that. And Hogg has it. Albion are going to bring on Nathaniel Chalabar and Josh Madger. Still awaiting Josh Madger's first goal, Andy. He's had sub-appearances, hasn't he, since joining. Another one here. And perfect time to get it.
Well, it is, and it's difficult for a striker having little bit part in games. You know, you need to start a game for a striker. You know, you need to come on and you need to show willing, but it's difficult to pick up the pace of the game.
So off comes Brandon Thomas Asante, replaced like for like by Josh Madger. Centre forward for centre forward, and central midfielder for central midfielder as well. Okay, Yukuzlu for Nathaniel Chalabar.
Yeah, Yukuzlu, not one of his best games today, Yukuzlu.
On a change for Huddersfield. Sees Danny Ward coming off, and the number 22, Kean Harrott, coming on. It does look as though they're going to bring on Josh Karoma as well, if he's ready to come on. He's walked up to the edge of the pitch, Andy, without his top on. Still doing his tape on his socks.
I wonder what Mega would say about that if you weren't ready to go on as a sub. Wow, you wouldn't be going on.
So the goal scorer, Delano Bergzorg, is coming off. It's his strike that at the moment will see Huddersfield take a point back to West Yorkshire from the Hawthorns with just over 15 minutes to go. Josh Karoma, another one of Carlos Corbrand's former players from his time at the Terriers. He's on the right-hand side, and Kean Harrott is on the left-hand side of a front two.
Come on, boys. One little push. Get another goal. Wow. Don't lose it there.
Sarmiento rolls it to Darnell Furlong. into Matt Phillips. Oh, and that's a bad pass from Phillips, and then the man who's just come on, Harrott, fell over. Albion clear it forward towards Josh Madger, taken down though by Hellick on the halfway line. Lofts it over the head of Sarmiento in towards
brilliant little
Shaheem
fella.
Headley.
Brilliant.
Dispossessed by Jeremy Sarmiento. He wins a free kick, pushed in the back.
Do it early, go on, he's in.
Malumbi trying to get on with it quickly, but Shaheem Headley standing his ground. Now Furlong back to Cedric Kipre. You've got Madger ahead of him, uses Josh Madger, just lofts it back to Kipre, tries to play it through the middle. Wasn't the worst idea. Chalobah stopped his run though. And now here is Jack Rodoni inside his own penalty area. Clears the ball forward up towards Cian Harrott. That one runs away from the substitute and out for a throw to Albion on the right hand side. Well, Albion have won 12 of the 17 home games that Carlos Corberán has taken charge of in the Sky Bet Championship since his arrival in October 2022, drawing 3 and losing just twice. It's just 1 defeat in 17 matches
that's
here
not bad.
at the Hawthorns in the league. Oh, sorry, in all competitions. Well, there's a Huddersfield man who's gone down on the edge of his own penalty area, Josh Ruffles. It looks like a bit of cramp.
Yeah.
Not for the first time he's gone down, Andy. He was down about 10 minutes or so ago. Back to his feet now. Was he booked in the first half? I think he was for time wasting.
Yeah, he was,
wasn't he, Ruffles?
Yeah, for the throw-in right in front of us here.
There's a long kick forward from Nichols into the shaded area of the Hawthorns. Now Pearson forward. Oh, and Townsend tries to head it back to Palmer, and Palmer can't get there. It's a poor header from Townsend. It's a cheap corner to give away, Andy, and what a chance this is now for Huddersfield.
Yeah, it is, and that's it's bad enough giving a corner away like that, but just got to hope that they get no joy from this. All the big lads have gone up again. Hellick, Pearson.
And they've conceded 4-headed goals this season, Albion. Huddersfield looking to make it 5 here as the cross comes in from Wiles, and it's met the head of I think it was Jonathan Hogg, the skipper. Well, he made clean contact with the ball but headed it well wide. The ball went to the left hand side of the penalty area, and then it wasn't kept in by Jack Rodoni. It's a throw for Albion right by the corner flag on the right flank.
Yeah, we don't want to let the game fizzle out. We've got to finish on a high. I mean, I don't know how many subs we've got left and how many can go on, to be honest. But would you put Diagana on? I'd probably throw him on for. He's out warming up. He's a sort of player that can go and change things, isn't he? With him and Sarmiento both on the pitch. I mean, it could be a little bit like watching Brazil or something like that, couldn't it, with those two in the same team?
There's the ball over the top towards Wiles, cleared by Cedric Kipre, and then into Malumbi's feet. Malumbi, it's a loose pass, he's giving it away, unlike him. And now here's Karoma out to Kasumu. Kasumu shoots.
Good defending.
It's blocked by Townsend, falls straight back to Kasumu. Here's Josh Karoma, just come on, wearing 10 for Huddersfield, tries to play 1-2, intercepted by Connor Townsend. He wins the ball back, and Albion have won a free kick inside their own penalty area.
It's been excellent, Townsend. That's a few, defensively today he's been sensational. He's not been too bad going forward either, to be honest. He's had a very, very good game for me.
Well, Albion have made 4 substitutes, Andy. Peters, Sarmiento, Madger and Chalobah in 2 stages of substitutions, which means they can just make 1 more left. And they have got Diangana, Mowat, Fellows, Taylor and Griffiths.
Yeah, for me, it's only going to be Diagana if anybody comes on, unless it's an injury or. Oh,
lovely
brilliant
from Sarmiento, and Townsend will drag back to Sarmiento. Sarmiento slides in Swift. Swift across goal.
Oh!
Hit the defender and bounce behind for a corner. Well, a little bit of magic was enough to open up Huddersfield there, and Albion have got a corner out of it. They're taking it quickly. Swift to Townsend. Now here's Swift inside the box, shooting chance. Swift does shoot. It's come off a Huddersfield head and ricochets out towards the right-hand side. It will be a corner over on the opposite flank.
Well, excellent play with Townsend again, and Sarmiento, he goes through. Watch this from Townsend. He plays a bit, little flick around the corner, little nutmegs as well, and this little reverse pass into John Swift's excellent, great play, excellent play.
Well, there's another.
He's down again.
It's Town man down. It's Josh Ruffles
again.
If he's not right, Andy, he's got to go off.
Yeah, he has. Yeah. And hasn't he got to stay off for 30 seconds or something afterwards as well? So.
Well, they'll be defending with a man less here, Huddersfield.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you can hear what
I can't hear anything, Jez, not with these headphones in.
The chants are.
I wouldn't have anything said about my mate Neil.
Andy Johnson sat next to me orchestrating it from up here on the gantry.
I've got the words, come on.
Like something out of the opera house.
The old conductor.
Well, Ruffles still down on the floor. The irony of this situation is, Andy, that he's not cheating. He's been down 3 times. Josh Ruffles.
Yeah, he's obviously got a problem with fitness.
One Gary Megson is the new cry from the Bromwich Road end. I'm sure Neil will have a little chuckle at that one.
Yeah, to be honest, I doubt if he can hear it really. I mean, you're that focused and concentrating. Very, very difficult to hear anything out there.
Well, Huddersfield are going to make a change. They want to do it before the corner is taken.
Yeah, but surely they can.
There is Townsend, flicks it forward, and Sarmiento pushes Kasumu to the floor. Free kick to Huddersfield, right in front of the away dugout. 1-1. 7.5 minutes to go.
This is what scares me a little bit, is when we give away silly free kicks like that there. You know, you've then got a dead ball situation. They're just going to send the big boys up, aren't they?
Well, Pearson is going to take the free kick. Hits it long, right-footed towards the left-hand side of the penalty area. It's nodded down. Kipre clears it, only as far as Hogg, who takes one touch, and that's good work from Maja, who wins the ball back. Then Malumbi is challenged fairly by Rudoni. 2 number 8s going for it there. Long ball by Pearson towards the edge of the box. It's flicked on by Hellick. Into the penalty area it goes, and it was Karoma trying to make something happen for Huddersfield.
Albion that's cheeky as you like.
Won the ball back. And now there's a foul over on that far side on Matt Phillips. What a pass that was by John Swift. That was a Rabona. That was a Rabona kick on his own goal line.
I'm not sure what Rabona is. Where he does it behind. There it is. Yeah, that's the one on. What do you call it? A Rabona.
A Rabona. That's what they call it.
What's that? Oh, Strictly Come Dancing or something?
If you tried it, they call it a falling over.
Oh no, I wouldn't attempt that. I'd dislocate my ankle.
Here is Maja. Turns inside the centre circle, then pokes it out to the left-hand side, and Sarmiento.
Go on, little fella, bit of magic.
Looking to supply the source as he drives inside.
Keep going.
Swift. Albion have bodies over on this left-hand side. One of those is Chalabar. First real touch for him. Now Connor Townsend, 25 yards away from goal on the left-hand channel.
Easy pass there, he's in.
And there's a ball over the top, and it's a good ball as well from Nakayama towards the 22. Harrott, who has just come on. Harrott into the penalty area, trying to
really
find
tried
Palmer
to do that from there
at the near post. He's right in the corner of the penalty area by the byline. He's tried to beat Palmer at the near post. It's never going to happen.
Is he really tried that from there? I mean, all right, he never had a lot of other options, but
keep the ball, Andy. Come back out.
That's just ridiculous.
Well, there's going to be another change for Huddersfield. It will be the number 30, Ben Jackson, coming on. He's going to replace the number 15, Jaheim Headley. So off he goes.
Yeah, who's the gaffer's calling somebody up? It's Grady Diagana. Has he got one little bit of magic in him? Has he got a little bit of magic in him to go and change this game? I would hurry up and get your shirt off if I was you. I wouldn't worry about taking too many instructions. Go on, score a winner. That's the only instruction you need, really. Get yourself ready. Go and kickstart your season.
Well, the last time Albion saw Grady Diangana in action was the 25th of February when he came off injured.
Come on then, come on.
Against Middlesbrough. Ends now. Here is Madja on the ball, dispossessed by Pearson. Chalabar tries to win it back and does that well, Nathaniel Chalabar. Then the referee gets in Diangana's way and Huddersfield are able to come forward. It's with Wiles on the halfway line, just slows the game down for the Terriers. Hogg into Nakayama.
Oh, make no mistake about it.
Goes backwards to Nichols once more.
A point here for Huddersfield is fantastic. They'll be over the moon with that. You know, and do they deserve it? Probably got to say they do deserve the point. But football is not always, you don't always get what you deserve.
And here's Furlong, pushed to the floor. Manages to win a throw though, hits the ball against Jonathan Hogg. Into the 89th minute, 1-1.
Interested to see what the referee puts up. It's got to be 6 minutes, surely. Easily 6 minutes, I would say.
And that's just for Josh Ruffles being down on the floor.
Yeah.
And the referee tells Furlong to stop creeping forward. It's a throw for the Baggies taken by Furlong from where it should have been taken from the first time. Madja keeps the ball safe away from Nakayama over on that far side in front of the East stand. A little back heel by Diangana into Nathaniel Chalabar. And here now is Cedric Kipre. Drives up towards the halfway line.
Wow.
Into Furlong. Gave him a difficult one, but Furlong finds Diangana. Here's Diangana.
Go on, little fella.
And then the ball runs away from him. And here come Huddersfield with Nakayama towards Josh Karoma. Only Harrett inside the box. Karoma will go himself. Karoma across goal. It hits Kipre and Palmer and bounces behind for a corner to Huddersfield Town inside the 90th minute. How many bodies will they send forward here, Andy?
Well, the usual, I would imagine. I can't see the goalkeeper coming up, to be honest, although he's looking at the dugout and they're ignoring him. As I said, don't forget, this is a fantastic result for Huddersfield. And this is a great opportunity at the depth. Only 30 seconds away from knowing how many added time there's going to be. It's got to be minimum of 6, maybe even 8 minutes.
It's going to be Rodoni again. Left-footed. Outswinger. And he delivers it towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's inside the penalty area. Still Albion get one defensive header away to the edge of the box. It comes straight back though to Rodoni, who delivers from the left-hand side towards Pearson and Hellick, and now Hogg hits it on the half volley way over the top of the crossbar, leaning backwards. There'll be 9 minutes, Andy Johnson.
Yeah, well, I thought there'd be a few. He said a minimum of 6, and that was only for Ruffles. You know, we've had a few substitutions as well. Still plenty of time then.
Well, some game at Coventry, 3-3 there against Valerian Ismail's Watford. Ipswich have turned the game round and now lead 3-2. Here's Townsend, does well, he's past his man, he's got Sarmiento ahead of him. Here's Jeremy Sarmiento bearing down on the Huddersfield box. He's got 2 around him. Sarmiento shoots straight into the gloves of Lee Nichols. Well, it almost looked as though it was going to be a carbon copy of last week's goal, Andy. A curling effort into that top corner when he stepped inside, but couldn't beat Nichols.
Believe it or not, it's his first touch, Jez. He doesn't totally take the ball with him, and it slows him down.
Here's Rodoni. Plays it forward. It's a good ball as well. In towards Kian Harrett. Now Nakayama.
Got to get out to him.
For Huddersfield. Nakayama steps on the ball and then plays it to the left-hand side. Plenty forward here for Huddersfield as the cross comes in. It's nodded away by Furlong. Madja will give chase against Hogg, who hooks it forward. It's a header from Peters. Heads it straight back to Hogg. He's got time to pass the ball off his head then.
He has.
Pearson down the line. It's a good ball as well to Kasumu, who's 1v1 against Townsend. Cross comes in, edge of the box. It's Harrett trying to turn. Albion just about win it.
Come on, you got to break.
Finds Matt Phillips. Diangana outside of the boot ball to Matt Phillips. Can he get there? It's a strong sliding challenge from Ben Jackson. Albion have a throw on the far side just inside the Huddersfield half.
Diangana, how's he even done that? It's just magical, isn't it? I mean, I wouldn't even know where to begin with that sort of pass. He's just, wow.
Well, speaking to a few of the players this week, Andy, they've been saying that Grady Diangana looks absolutely on fire in training.
Well, if that's anything to go by, I mean, he must be chomping at the bit. He's been out for so long. bad long-term injuries myself. You cannot wait to get back.
Swift. Now Townsend.
Come on.
Sarmiento ahead of him. Uses Jeremy Sarmiento. Holds onto the ball. Pearson. He's got 1v1 here. Sarmiento against Matty Pearson. On the left-hand side, onto his right foot. Sarmiento dinks past him, and then the challenge comes in from Kasumu, and Rodoni clears it forward.
Come on, you've
He's
got to help him
certainly a
out.
crowd pleaser, isn't he? There's Cian Harrott.
Yeah, he is.
Pushes Peters to the floor. Not sure there was any need for that. Albion pick up the loose ball and play continues, but he's going to get bums off seats, isn't it?
Yeah, he sure is. I mean, he's excited, and come on, you've got to get it forward, but he needs something to hit.
Chalabar uses Kipre. Kipre into Matt Phillips.
He had nothing on there, Chalabar. People like saying get it forward, but you can only, he needs movement. Everyone stood around him. That's better.
A third of the added time played. Diangana pushes the ball past Nakayama. 3 minutes into it. Here is Matt Phillips, can drive forward, plays a 1-2 with Darnell Furlong. Phillips on the right-hand side, looking to try and cross it. Diangana behind him. Here is Grady Diangana. 3 at the back post, waiting for the cross, tries to play a 1-2. Diangana tries to get to the byline, sliding challenge from Hellick. It's out for a throw to Albion on the right-hand side. It's right by the corner flag. It's going to be launched in by Darnell Furlong.
Well, still got 6 minutes to go.
The Bromwich Road end is on its feet. Expectant. They want a third straight win at the start of this season at home.
Come on.
They need to try and find a goal if they're going to do that, Albion. 1-1 here as Chalabar delivers towards Madja, headed away by Pearson, and it's going to go out for a throw. It will be Peters to take right in front of the home dugout. No, he leaves it for Townsend, who chucks it back to Peters.
I love the gaffer's enthusiasm and his energy on the bench.
Here is Chalabar. Furlong. Back to John Swift. Here is Cedric Kipre into the middle, and Nathaniel Chalabar wants to try and play it round the corner, but quite sensibly goes back to Palmer.
He does the right thing.
Here now is Nathaniel Chalabar. Hits it long into the channel. It's a good looking ball for Matt Phillips if he can get there. Hellick comes across first. That one's not going to go out, and Phillips forces Hellick to pass it out for a throw.
Go on, do it.
Level with the penalty area on the right hand side in front of the east stand. Will it be a long one from Furlong?
Yeah. I thought Diagana may have done a quick one then with Darnell Furlong, but leaves it for him.
Albion have 7 navy blue and white striped shirts in the box. In it comes. Big header away by Hellick, the biggest man in the penalty area, and then a turn by Karoma. Huddersfield are allowed to continue with Jack Rodoni on the ball, trying to twist John Swift inside and out. Rodoni slides it through. Kasumu is in the penalty area. Kasumu's cross is poor, straight.
Very poor.
Down the throat.
Give him it.
And now Albion can drive forward. Kasumu's gone down. Albion do not need to kick the ball out, Andy. They're going to play against the Huddersfield.
Go on, he's in.
Diangana slides it through. Here's Madja. Past his man, Josh Madja for Albion to win it!
No!
By Lee Nichols. A big palm from the Huddersfield #1 to maybe rescue his side a point from this game. What an opportunity for Josh Madja to put his name in lights. Here come Huddersfield. This game's not over yet. Cian Harrott is in behind. It's Huddersfield looking for a winner now. Harrott to the back post. Rodoni takes it down his chest. Rodoni shoots and scores for Huddersfield Town. Incredible at the Hawthorns. Albion thought they might win it at one end, but less than 40 seconds later, Jack Rodoni has surely done that for the Terriers, chesting the ball down and volleying it beyond. Alex Palmer into the bottom corner, and Albion surely now are going to suffer a rare defeat at the Hawthorns.
Well, you see it happen so many times in football where a team goes up one end, they miss a great chance, or the keeper pulls off a great save, and then you go down the other end and they score a goal, and it's just happened here. I can't catch my breath. Excellent play from us up this end. Imagine, you got to feel for him. He does everything right. The keeper pulls off a great save, and we get caught on a counter-attack sucker punch. I mean, in fairness to the young lad, he's been my man of the match. Rodoni, he's been different class. But what a kick.
How a game can change.
Yeah.
Well, I expected the Bromwich Road end, Andy, to...
Yeah, I thought that was it. I thought we'd won it.
Just erupt I expected the ball to nestle in the back of the net when Josh Madger went past two Huddersfield defenders. What a save from Lee Nichols.
Yeah, you've got to credit the keeper. He's pulled off
and
a
what a
good save.
finish from Jack Rodoni. But Albion have committed men forward looking for the winner, and it may just have cost them. Huddersfield on the verge of their first victory of the season. How Albion is that, Andy?
Yeah, very much so. But the game is not over yet, and I wouldn't put it past us getting an equaliser. I really wouldn't.
Here is John Swift, left-hand side. There is 90 seconds to go, or less than that now, sorry. Probably about 70 seconds to go. Peters, square to Nathaniel Chalobah. Albion looking for a salvageable draw. Townsend inside, John Swift
foul, surely.
The referee doesn't give a foul, and Matty Pearson has it, so he's going to kick this one down the line. No, he's going to win his side a free kick. It's soft, it's needless, but it's clever from Pearson, who used all of his experience there.
Yeah,
and we've got, what, 40 seconds to go, Andy?
Yeah, absolutely. Who's he booking now? John Swift. Careful, John. Keep mouthing, mate. It'll turn into a red.
Well, Carlos Corberán said yesterday in his press conference that the better your record, the more teams will want to break it. The more they will want to find a way to beat you.
Yeah.
And Huddersfield Town might just have done that this afternoon.
Look, you know, as good as your home record is, you're not going to win every home game for the season. It's just not going to happen. So, you know, let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's a blip. We knew today was going to be a tricky game, and we've been hit by a sucker punch there late on in injury time. I mean, it ain't nice. It ain't good.
Well, still no whistle. Albion need to get on with it. We've played over the 9 minutes now. Throw comes in from Townsend, cleared away, comes straight back to Connor Townsend. Here is Swift, tries to play 1-2 with Townsend, doesn't meet it, and just clipped down the line from Jonathan Hogg. Flag comes up against Josh Koroma. Remember, it's a minimum of 9 minutes, not a maximum. Just clipped down the line from Jonathan Hogg. Flag comes up against Josh Koroma. Remember, it's a minimum of 9 minutes, not a maximum.